I've just been listening in the past 10 minutes or so to a press conference from the Israeli government spokesman, Elon Levy, and I can tell you he came out absolutely swinging with the government of South Africa squarely in his sights over this decision. Let me read a little bit of what he has just had to say. The State of Israel emphatically condemns South Africa's decision to play advocate for the devil and make it criminally complicit with the perpetrators of the October 7th massacre. The Hamas rapist regime bears full responsibility for all casualties in this war that it launched on October 7th. South Africa has made itself criminally complicit with Hamas's campaign of genocide against our people. It shares culpability for the tragic loss of human life. Israel will appear before the ICJ to dispel South Africa's blood libel. How tragic that the Rainbow Nation that prides itself on fighting racism will be now fighting pro bono for anti-Jewish racists. He ended by saying, history will judge South Africa for abetting the modern heirs of the Nazis. We assure South Africa's leaders that history will judge you, and it will judge you without mercy. I mean, not much else to say there, really, is it? I mean, it's an extraordinarily strong reaction, and I think it shows that that decision by Pretoria on Friday has clearly touched a raw nerve within the Israeli government, and they intend to fight this very, very hard at the ICJ.
And interestingly enough, the words that have been used in that statement are exactly what South Africa has been saying, to Israel in its application. And of course, we know that there are two processes happening here. This is not a move by South Africa only to go to the International Court of Justice, but also having instituted also a case, in the International Criminal Court. So those are the two processes. But South Africa is not the only country that is condemning Israel. Maybe just bring us up to speed in terms of what other countries are saying and how they have condemned what is happening in Gaza.
I think Israeli officials will tell you that they are aware now that, I suppose, the level of acceptability from even some of its closest allies over what is happening in Gaza is starting to diminish somewhat as the civilian death toll continues to mount. We know that there have been back-channel conversations with the likes of the US, the UK, Germany around trying to get some answers of when Israel will move away from this high-intensity style of warfare to something more targeted. Of course, the Hamas-run health ministry saying now the death toll is over 22,000. But then you have also seen other players in the region come out very strongly against Israel. I mean, the president of Turkey, for example, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, compared the Prime Minister here, Benjamin Netanyahu, to Hitler. I mean, this is sort of where the level of discourse now is approaching. There is anger building in this region over what is happening in Gaza, but nevertheless, with the support of the US and others to continue, Israel shows little sign of backing off. For them, and you kind of pick it up in that press conference, for them, they really feel that this is an existential battle, that they are fighting a militant group who wants to see the complete destruction of Israel, which is why they're throwing everything at this. But it does remain a very difficult situation on the ground, especially as the UN continues to raise the alarm over the shortages of food, medicine and water.